We prepared our folder structure. Let's now create these action creators. And I'll start in the Burger Builder because that's the functionality we in theory already have, and I want to unbreak my app again. So in here, I first of all need to import my action types. So in the Burger Builder file in the actions folder, here I'll navigate to /action types, referring to that JavaScript file here, the action types JavaScript file. And then I'll export a constant, which I'll name add ingredient, following that pattern of naming my action creators just as the identifiers, but not all caps with underscores, but in camel case. So add ingredient is the action creator for, you guessed it, adding an ingredient. And if we inspect the place where we actually dispatch such an action, which is in the Burger Builder container, there we will see that if we scroll to the bottom, on ingredient added passes us the name of the ingredient as a payload. So we have this extra ingredient name property. And I want to keep that in my action creator, or in the action created in the action creator, I should say, so that the existing code in all the other places, for example in the reducer, doesn't break. So we need to set up this ingredient name, and we can expect to get that ingredient name as an input to the action creator for that reason. So add ingredient is an arrow function where I actually receive the name of the ingredient which should be added, and where I then will return a JavaScript object which will have this ingredient name property where I assign the name I get. And of course we have that mandatory type property where I reach out to my action types and pick add ingredient. And now I'll simply duplicate this action creator to create a second one. This one will be called remove ingredient. And here, if we have a look at the Burger Builder again, we also receive the ingredient name of the ingredient where we want to remove one. So I can also, or I should also accept this name here and basically emit or dispatch, return the same action as for add ingredient, just change the identifier, the type, to remove ingredient. And that's the Burger Builder action file finished. Now we can use these action creators. For our app to not break, we also have to go into the reducers file though. And there we have to update our import path here where we get our action types. It's no longer /actions. Instead, we have to go up one folder into the actions folder and then pick the action types file there. Again, as always, omitting the file extension. With that, the reducer file is prepared too. Obviously, we still need to update our store where we created, where we point to the reducer because we moved the reducer into a subfolder. So in the index.js file, we no longer import reducer from the store folder. Instead, there we have to go into the reducers folder and then pick the Burger Builder. Soon I'll combine all reducers, but right now I only got one, the Burger Builder here. So I'll name this Burger Builder reducer, and for now that's my only reducer. So I'll pick this and pass it to create store. Last but not least, I have to update my Burger Builder container where I map my state. Here where I dispatch actions, I no longer dispatch them directly. Instead, I want to use my action creators. So I'll go all the way up to the top where I import my action types, and I no longer do that. Instead, I'll import my actions, or maybe my Burger Builder actions, if we want to be super precise about the name. The name, of course, is up to you. And now I'll again navigate into the store folder and there to actions. And now I want to have one central file from which I can import. So I'll name it index.js in the actions folder. And there, just as shown in the last module, I want to group my exports. So I'll export everything from ./Burger Builder and the same later on from the order.js file. And what I want to export from Burger Builder is of course add ingredient and remove ingredient. And I'll just structure it over multiple lines to make it very easy to read, like this. So now with that index.js file existent, I can go back to the Burger Builder container and adjust my import to point to actions index. Actually, due to our workflow setup here, you can even omit index. It will automatically pick the index.js file if you point at a folder, but I'll be very clear and add it. But again, index could be omitted here. With that, I got that Burger Builder Actions object in the Burger Builder container file. And now I can use that at the bottom of the file where we dispatch actions here to dispatch the add ingredient action. And important, we have to pass on our ingredient name to the function we're calling here. And of course, I also want to execute an action here. So Burger Builder Actions, remove ingredient, and pass on the ingredient name here too. These are the two actions I want to dispatch. With that, we can save that file. And if all files have been saved, the application now should work again. We can actually check this out. In the running application, if we start adding burgers again, ingredients, and removing them, we should see that it works just as before, but now, of course, with the help of our action creators. So that's the first step. We moved towards this action creator setup. We, of course, did this to run asynchronous code, though, so that will be the next steps, adding action creators for orders so that we ultimately can handle the whole ordering process through Redux.